Welcome to the 2020 Kritfayle Shadowrun Christmas Special. Everyone on the Kritfayle team hopes you have a safe and awesome Christmas, and we look forward to you joining us in the next year. If you want to help us, then please check out our Patreon. Lastly, as this is a longer episode, there is a short intermission. Grab a coffee or dance with that special someone in your life. You'll see what I mean. And now, a very Cipher Christmas. So, Cornerstone's external is It's a White Christmas. Because why not?
Is it snowing?
It's been snowing, yep. It's a white Christmas. And Cornerstone is lit from the base to the top with multicoloured Christmas lights and a Christmas tree light that goes all the way up the side of the building, starting at the bottom, and goes up in stages to go to a little star at the very top of the building.
Cool.
There is the odd car, but not too many. Most people seem to be staying at home. And it's around -5.
So Cipher is not wearing her skimpy red dress.
Good decision.
Well, she could wear it. She'd just also have to wear a really big coat.
Which do you have? Yeah, They have long
Parker.
parkers. There's long puffy parkers you can get here to go all the way down.
Okay. So the credit card number that she used had already been red flagged.
Oh.
But luckily she was using a VPN and routing through several IP addresses. So no drama.
No drama.
Okay.
And she didn't list the delivery address as the house.
Well, she wasn't able to use it because the credit card number that she used was already red flagged. So,
Well, that's good.
and the advantages was that they couldn't trace her, and she hadn't put in the her actual address. Hey, maybe that's why she needs to move.
She already has. We did this.
At this point, yes.
Oh, yeah, because we've already moved. Hey, maybe that's why she moved.
All right.
So that would have been done.
Yeah, because
before
I
that,
assumed if
anyway.
you'd have succeeded,
Okay.
you would have been wearing it. So
Cipher is not wearing a Canadian Goose jacket.
She could borrow one of Terrence's jackets.
As long as it's not green.
Well, he has... Okay, his jackets are pretty out there for the most part. I think the calmest one he has is a white sparkly one.
Ah.
Like, it just looks like it's been infused with glitter.
Excellent.
What's her finances like? I better get my character sheet up. Right.
Maybe.
God damn.
Terrence will roll up to Cornerstones. He's wearing what is essentially a Santa suit. And he's got, like, some fun fur tied around his face. And it's it's really, really bad because it's just this flat piece of fun fur that's cut roughly into the shape of a beard. And he's just got it tied with, like, a piece of string around his head. And he's wearing a silly Santa hat. And he's got this garbage bag full of presents. And he is wearing a jacket, and it is all different colors. Like, one sleeve is blue, the other sleeve is green, the main part is probably purple. And it's like one of those 80s jackets, except it's a winter jacket, so it's all puffy too. And it just looks really ridiculous. And he walks into Cornerstones looking like that. Hangs up his coat near the door. And wanders over to the regular table to wait for everybody else.
At some point, Wren's gonna walk in, and she is not wearing anything particularly Christmassy. She's got on jeans and just like a regular hoodie and a jacket over that. And she's got a couple plastic bags full of something. And I guess she'll walk over and sit with Terrence.
Apparently, I have no money.
Says Cipher.
But where's all my money?
We didn't get paid.
We didn't get paid.
Why do I have...
We didn't get paid, Cipher.
Oh, Smeg, how am I going to afford to buy clothes? Okay. Well, Cipher just walks in naked. No.
Oh, no!
In negative 40-degree weather. Got it.
No, it's not 40. It's not negative 40. It's negative 5.
Negative 5. Probably
Right.
like negative 15 or something.
I'm assuming, considering the living, where she would have some sort of warm clothes. I'm picturing sort of what I posted up in the channel. So they don't even describe it properly. So it's like a pink, sort of like a pale pink parka with that flows all the way down into pants.
Yeah, it's a
covers all the
snowsuit.
way- Like literally, yeah, a pink snowsuit. Yep, and some woolen Ugg boots.
Terrible. Those are so bad for sheep.
They don't have to be real sheep.
What?
Can't you? You can buy the fake ones,
You can buy the fake ones,
sy-
but then they're not Ugg.
the synthetic ones.
Are you saying that you're buying fake
are they?
sheep fur or you're buying fake sheep? Because you said
Synthetic
it's bad for the sheep,
knockoff
and you
Uggs.
went, no, but you can buy the fake one.
Knock off Uggs using only the finest synthetic sheep.
There's a 3-foot high fake sheep.
And they shear it. And they use the fake sheep wool. They could have just, created the fiber and used that, but they thought it would be a bit more fun.
It's a free range fake sheep.
They drag it around on wheels for a while, and then they shear it.
She cut up one of Terrence's fleece throw blankets and wrapped it around a pair of shoes.
So she has a backpack as usual with her. Obviously she's probably carrying her laptop as she usually does, and she's wearing her cat earphones, listening to music as she enters the cornerstones. She's looking around, a little bit confused, a little bit perplexed, like she's got this quizzical look on her face. And she goes and sits at the table with
So
Terrence.
inside, it is also decorated. There's mistletoe, there's coloured lights, every tablecloth has snowflakes on them, and there's a small Christmas tree in the centre. There's a large Christmas tree in the very centre of the actual club area. And it looks like there's going to be a big long area where there's going to be all sorts of food. Looks like it's going to be brought out, and a dessert area that's going to be brought out. And by the looks of the tables, they're planning to fill maybe 3/4 of the club. And people are slowly sort of arriving. And some have kids and stuff like that. Fennyman is dressed in a suit, and Lambert is talking to some of the fairies, and he has a absolutely terrible teal Christmas sweater, which he is very aware is a terrible Christmas sweater. And the fairies seem to be taking turns to be the fairy at the top of the tree.
Cipher, what do you look so confused about?
What's all this then? What's with all the lights? And the funny clothes?
It's a celebration, Cipher.
Yeah.
Celebrating what?
Christmas. Or holidays, or whatever you celebrate.
Yeah,
It is
Christmas.
It is the
Yeah.
winter times.
You remember that? Kind of a big deal they make of it every year.
Yeah, but what's with all the lights?
For fun.
Christmas lights.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. It looks...
There's some at
Sort
the
of-
house, Cipher.
You set up lights? Well, it's not like I go outside a lot.
I mean, you had to get outside to get here.
In the house, too, we have a little tree.
Yeah, but it was daylight when I left.
You sound like the most
Oh, that
oblivious roommate.
So that was what with the tree?
Terrence gets up. He goes over to Cipher.
For if we had pets, so they could go and do their little business in there.
Oh my
In
goodness.
a tree?
Well, the tree's in a pot.
That would smell super, super bad. I would prefer not to have that smell in the house if I can avoid it.
Okay, well, I've just never seen anything like it.
Never seen a Christmas tree?
Christmas tree? What? Well, I've seen those trees, yeah. If you want to call them Christmas trees, and I've seen plenty of Christmas trees.
Okay.
Well,
Sure.
you get to experience Christmas with your found family today. And then you'll have a new appreciation for all the decorations I poured my heart and soul into at the house.
Oh, is that what you've been doing? I thought that was just you normally just putting up stuff to...
He's like sniffing at you. He's like, "Did you drink the eggnog I made?"
Cipher's eyes roll around as if to say... She's like trying to think of a response.
That
You
looks
did,
like yes.
didn't you? Cipher. I mean, like a little bit okay, but don't drink the whole thing in one go.
Well, doesn't it go off?
No. The alcohol
It's an egg,
keeps it fresh.
isn't it?
It's not an egg.
It's like an entire carton of eggs. You
With alcohol?
have consumed 12 eggs and about half a bottle of alcohol already.
I guess at least there's, that's what I was going to say, protein.
Cipher. Sit.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to... I haven't never actually seen Christmas decorations.
He's pulled out a chair for you and he's like gently guiding you to sit down.
She's already taken a seat.
Okay.
But she gets up and moves over to the seat that you just...
And he goes through the motions of doing it anyway. And he's like, "We gotta have a real conversation about you just consuming food I make, okay? Like, some of that definitely was for you, but not the whole thing. I wanted some too, and now we don't have any more eggs to make more with."
Not till you get the chickens, anyway.
It wasn't my fault that we got a rooster.
I'm pretty sure that was entirely your fault.
If I had to guess whose fault it was, I'd go with Cipher.
Terrence waves over Fennyman and Lambert. And he's looking around for Morticia.
And she's buzzing around like a mother hen with all the little fairies. And Ferret walks in and looking very Victorian in suit and tails and a top hat. He's carrying some presents and he goes over and sits at the bar.
Have I met Ferret?
I think you've seen him around. You know... What you do know of him is he's not the most sociable of person. But you also know that when Sally was missing, he was one of the ones that was out looking the furthest and longest. So although he seems to be a bit of a disturber and a bit rough around the edges, when things have been bad, he seems to always be dependable. But I don't think you've actually spoken to him.
Lambert, your sweater is the best sweater.
I know, right? It took real genius and effort to find one as spectacularly bad as this.
I was gonna say, where do you even find a sweater like that?
Birmingham.
Very nice.
I'm really impressed. Everybody hates it. It's brilliant.
I don't think Terry does.
Of course Terrence doesn't hate it.
And people are starting to come in and with their kids. A lot of them you've noticed are definitely ones that have struggled during the year.
So, Terrence,
Yes.
all those lights you've been setting up around the house, they're not security lights?
No.
How would they be for security, Cipher?
Well, they'd certainly light up the place.
Okay. So do just like the regular lights in the house, though.
Yeah, but Terrence has been putting up lights everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah. To decorate.
And Cipher shakes her head in amazement. I'm sorry, I'm not actually familiar with what normal people do on Christmas.
I'm not sure you're familiar with what normal people do at any time, Cipher. You are aware that there is a holiday that goes back quite some time that's called Christmas.
Yes.
And what do you think people do on Christmas?
Stay at home, bored shitless.
Some people, I'm sure. Sounds like that's what you do.
Yeah, because that's what I usually did over Christmas. Not sure what you're getting at there, Wren.
Well,
Well, hopefully you'll find today a little bit more heartwarming than usual. And look, it's the biggest kind of roast bird you can have. A turkey. It's almost the size of you.
Yep, we got lots of turkey. Turkey, potatoes, carrots, corn, peas, beans, gravy, trifle, ice cream, pudding,
and
a candy bar.
whoa.
It's a once-a-year thing, Cipher. It's a once-a-year thing.
I know Christmas is once a year.
That's good. We got some base knowledge. We can build on this.
Okay, so please explain.
Explain which bit.
Christmas and building on base knowledge.
Well, I was saying at least you know it happens once a year. So, we can work
Yep.
with that. You're not starting with nothing.
It was just a day to, I don't know. We just really never did anything at home.
I mean, me neither, but you can do stuff now.
Like what?
All this stuff. There's food, there's candy, there's people, and decorations, and you spend time with people or something.
Ah, so it's like a celebration to get together and drink and have fun and party and throw up and stuff.
Let's leave off that last bit, maybe.
Yeah. But you got the general spirit.
Cypher's got a really confused look at her face.
Well, I kind of want to save yours for close to last, Cipher, so I'll give you a small demonstration. And he reaches into his garbage bag and he pulls out a small, like, wrapped box and he hands it to Wren.
Wait, what? You have a garbage bag?
Yeah, it's just like a big black garbage bag and it's full of wrapped gifts.
Cypher's looking at it going, what the... What? Terrence! Why have you got a garbage bag full of... is that stolen stuff in there?
No,
What are you
actually,
doing?
none of this is stolen. I just didn't have a Santa Claus bag, okay? This is what I had in the house.
Wait, Santa Claus? Who the dickens is this Santa Claus?
A fictional fairy creature, as far as I'm aware. Anyway,
Yeah,
Merry
you never
Christmas,
know.
Wren. And
Thank you.
he's going to hand you a small card, and you will get that as soon as I can put it in your folder. No, not that one.
Thank you. That's very nice. And I do have something for you, but I don't think it's as good. But that's all right.
That's not the point, though. It's not a competition.
I know,
honestly wasn't expecting anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Wren is gonna hand Terry a card, but it's not exactly a card. None of her cards are cards. It's basically, it looks like bits of paper ripped out of a sketchbook or something, and it's just written on. And so the card would be this. And she's also handing over a wrapped book-shaped object.
Thank you very much. And he unwraps the book.
I don't actually know anything about that book, but it should be okay, I was told.
This is excellent. This'll help me a lot with I've been trying to do some spell work from a distance. This'll help so much. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. And I have some cookies for you, but also for everyone, so I will give those to you
I'll
later.
be back, Benjamin says, and he walks off. As the place pretty much fills up and the food starts coming out.
What?
Are you gonna tell everyone
What
what
are
you
you-
got, Ren?
Oh, I forgot that, sorry. Wren got a very nice set of lockpicks that are not only very nice looking, they are slightly enchanted to be more helpful and better at lockpicking, which is very good.
Oh, maybe they talk to you. Wait, yeah, you almost
no,
got it. Yep.
I don't-
A little bit further.
The note I have says nothing about them talking to me, Cipher, so if they start to, I imagine that is not what was intended.
Cypher's looking at you both going, and she's got this puzzled expression on her face. What are you two doing?
Do you want a gift?
For what?
For Christmas.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah, you don't.
What do you mean for
You
Christmas?
don't need to do anything, Ren. Or, Cipher, help. You don't need to do anything, Cipher. We just got you gifts because we like you.
What do you... What manner of sorcery is this?
None? Not on my part, anyhow. I mean, maybe Terry did something, but I can't do any magic.
Holiday sorcery.
Don't you... you only get usually birthday gifts.
Well,
What? Do people get... What?
Christmas
Gifts on
gifts are
Christmas?
traditional, so I'm told.
Well, when I was younger, if, like, my family didn't have a whole lot of money, so we would combine the two, and we would get birthmas gifts. Which was also completely fine. It's just a way to show appreciation for people you care about.
I'm confused because, I came from a family that had a whole lot of money, and we never got any gifts, anything, or celebrated Christmas. So.
Yeah, that can happen.
Terrence kind of blinks at you, and then he, leans over and gives you a hug. He's like, well, we're gonna give you gifts.
Unless you object, and quite possibly even then.
I'm gonna give you gifts
But-
regardless of whether or not you
but-
object.
But
Everyone has a
I haven't
but,
done
yes.
anything. And
yeah, and I haven't
got-
done anything either, and I've got this. Wren's holding up the lockpick set. See? It's fine. I didn't explode or anything. You can have a gift even if you haven't done anything.
Cypher's suddenly got a little bit pale. And she stands up. She leaves her bag there, and she's... I'll be back. I'm just going to go to the wee old lady's room. I'll be back. And she runs off through the crowd, knocking a couple of people,
Oh,
accidentally bumping into one of the fairies.
jeez. Oh no. I hope she's okay. She's not back in a bit. I'll go check on her, I guess. Or actually, she's gone to the washroom. You should probably check on her.
Yeah, I can go check if she doesn't come back.
Yes. Please don't come into the ladies' room, Terrence.
I'm pretty sure everyone at Cornerstones wouldn't be worried about Terrence in the ladies' room.
The ladies' room, yeah.
Probably not.
And the door on the far side opens and says, "Oh, oh, oh!" And Mr. Fennyman comes out dressed as Santa Claus.
Oh no! We're clashing! We've come in the same outfit! Terrence is like standing up and being really dramatic about it.
I guess one of you is going to have to leave.
And he laughs and he goes and sits in this big sort of throne. And he's like, "Where's Dorothy?" And this little girl runs up and jumps on him. And she's like, "Santa!" And one of the fairies brings over a gift and he starts handing out gifts to about 20 of the kids that are there. And they are all treating him as Santa. It's like obvious that he is a rat in a Santa suit. But you are witnessing that amazing thing that kids can do, which is look past all of that and into their own mythology.
Terrence watches this and grins for a bit, and then he looks around and he's gonna go find Morticia. And he pulls this like tiny brown paper bag out of his garbage bag, and it's got a little bow on the top, and it's got the card stuck to it, and he's like, "Morticia."
And she's over at the bar.
He's like, "Yes, Terry.
I got you a gift.
Oh, you didn't have to do that."
Of course not. I just wanted to. And he hands it over.
And she takes it. And she curtsies a little.
I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. Thank you.
He gives her a little bow and then heads back over to the table with Wren and Lambert.
And it takes about 35 minutes to go through all the kids. He doesn't rush them. He's very patient with them. They're telling him all about the horrible things that their parents have done to them, like make them do homework and clean and do their room and what gifts they wanted. And the gifts didn't seem to be cheap either. There was some consoles, there was big Lego sets.
Has Cipher come back?
Cipher just realised something.
Alright, well, while Cipher is realising something in the ladies' room, Terrence is going to pull out a shoebox kind of style. It looks like it's a wrapped shoebox. And he hands it with a letter to Lambert. And this is going to be fun because I didn't add a description of what it was. Whoops, not to Emily.
Nope. That was my worry. I'd send it to the wrong person.
And you see when it's over that Santa exits the area.
And what Terrence has handed Lambert when he unwraps it is a small model of a small black pirate boat that is like, it's a huge sailboat in miniature scale, and it's got a little pirate flag at the top of it.
This is awesome. I'm in my own pirate tale. And he gives Terry a very hard squeeze. And if he was made of packing material, he'd probably be popping.
Just
Maybe a couple joints creak a little bit, maybe a pop from his spine, and Terrence smiles really big and gives Lambert a kiss on the cheek.
As does
Cipher
Fennyman.
returns. She comes back walking through the crowd.
As does Fennyman, not dressed as Santa anymore.
yeah, Cipher missed the whole Santa bit.
And people are starting to get to the food, which smells very good.
All right. I have a little bit more to give out before we eat. Cipher, you're next. Are you ready?
4? No? Whatever it is, you're not going to be casting any spells on me, are you?
Of course not.
Harry?
Why would I do that? And
I just remember the last time. Oh, the last time before the last
something
time. Was it the
that
last
you
time?
didn't
Was it?
really notice, Terrence had been holding a little box that has holes all the way around it outside of the garbage bag, but you didn't notice it because he was hiding it really well. And he hands that and a box from the garbage bag to Cipher, along with a note that's taped to the top of the box from the garbage bag.
What's he handing her?
Two
A
boxes. 2 boxes. And a note. He tells you to read the note first.
She's reading the note. And she's scratching her head. And it looks like she's trying to read the same line. And she reads the same line again.
Are you struggling reading my writing, Cipher?
It's really well written. How did you write this?
I like calligraphy.
It is really impressive.
You did this with your hands?
I used to do it for a living.
Calligraphy? It is taking her a long time to read this.
Okay, real question. Adam, are you struggling reading my writing?
Did you actually literally write this?
No, I used a typeset, but are you
Okay.
struggling? I can read it to you.
Oh no, hang on. I just made it bigger, so it's better.
Yes, clicking the image to make it the proper size helps.
So she looks at the box. So what did you give her? A box and the letter?
2 boxes.
The top box is a box of chocolates, and the bottom box
So-
has holes in the side, and you can hear a slight shuffling from inside.
Oh god. Don't. What? Oh, she starts shaking it and then
No.
she reads shake.
Oh.
If she shakes it, you hear a very startled.
It's only a little bit.
You hear a very small
Small what?
meow. A very, very tiny meow. And when she opens the box, she will see this.
Aw.
Her name is Pumpkin. And if you let her do her business in the tree pot, I will be very upset.
Cipher looks like she's visibly struggling at the moment. She's opened up the box and she's looking down, and you can see a few tears drowning down her face. And
For all the
she
listeners,
puts the box down on top of the table and lifts up the kitten. And she looks over at Terrence, and she's obviously visibly shaking. And she leans over and gives you a big hug.
With the cat in
Terrence, a big
between?
hug.
Don't squish.
with the cat
Don't
in between.
squish the cat, Cipher.
Terrence very carefully hugs her back so as not to squish the kitten. He pets her head a little
She
bit.
holds up the kitten. You shall now be called Pumpkin Killer.
Pumpkin Killer.
What?
Her last name is Killer. Got it. I'll make sure to tell that to the vet.
It's quite the name, Cipher. Quite the name. All right, are you emotionally ready for another gift, or should I wait a while?
She's like really absorbed into this kitten at the moment.
All right. I hear chalk.
I hear too.
I don't know if Pumpkin Killer is concerning somehow. Oh dear.
She is very cute.
So it's a she.
Oh yeah. Apparently it's very incredibly 1 in 2 million or something rare for a calico cat to be male.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Terrence is just happily watching Cipher hold the
Cipher.
kitten.
Patty. She's holding it. She's going, and you can see she's sort of smiling but crying at the same time, and she's like going, grr, rah.
Do you think she thinks the cat is gonna kill pumpkins?
Cats are strange creatures. It could very much enjoy attacking pumpkins for all I know. This particular kitten, though, does like to climb things, so she'll probably end up sitting on Cypher's shoulder for a good while.
Cipher unzips her coat and sort of puts her head down on the table and zips up the coat. And so she's looking down into the coat.
She's just got a little pocket kitten.
Yep.
The kitten will probably, it's up to you. It's your NPC now.
Kills pumpkin.
Kills pumpkins.
Right now?
Cypher's like, okay, we shall now start to train you. Where's the nearest pumpkin?
Well, it seemed
Cipher, Halloween was a while ago.
It seemed an appropriate name considering your birthday is Halloween.
Aha. Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, thanks, Terrence. That's so thoughtful. And she's like, starts crying again. And she looks back down inside her shirt.
Terrence chuckles a little bit. Fennyman's come back now, right?
And he's no longer dressed as Santa Claus.
Terrence pulls out another paper bag from his pack, and it's got a little box tied to the handle along with a card, and he hands it over to Fennyman.
Why, thank you, Derry.
No worries. Have fun with it. And he's smiling really big.
Oh, crap.
And Terrence will then empty out the rest of the garbage bag onto the table, and it's like 50 packs of these little, star-shaped candies in these individual little plastic bags wrapped with ribbons.
Oh.
And he proceeds to distribute them among the fairies.
And Fennyman only notices after. Oh no.
What is
Terrence is grinning really big. He's like, oh no, what do you mean, oh no?
And within 5 minutes, they are buzzing.
Oh, but I have cookies for them too. Should I not give them to them? I made really tiny cookies.
It's okay.
Terrence is, chuckling maniacally.
Wren will pull out of her bag. She does have lots and lots of little wrapped bags of cookies. They are chocolate cookies that have been dipped in white chocolate and then crushed candy cane. And there are very, very tiny miniature versions for the fairies.
And they're like,
Yay! And Wren will also hand Mr. Fennyman and Mr. Lambert each a gift and a note.
and he has nice coffee, which he's like, gives you a big grin, and cookies,
and something else that is...
There's a landscape
else.
picture of an ocean. Gets up and comes around, she's got to come around the table, and gives Wren a hug from behind.
Oh, okay.
And Mr. Fennyman opens his, and it is some nice coffee, which he's like, you never get too much of this stuff. And cookies, and it's also a landscape painting of a forest. He's like, thank you, Wren.
You're welcome.
Did you paint those yourself, Wren?
Huh?
Did you paint those yourself?
No.
They're still very cool.
That's good.
One of the helpers walks in holding a gift, And Lambert gets up and walks over and takes it from them and comes over and puts it in front of Cipher and slaps her sort of gently, but not massively gently because he's a big freaking shark, on the back of her head. He's like, "Merry Christmas, Cipher."
Cypher's like looking really confused as she looks up from the looking down her what do you call it?
The snowsuit she was wearing?
The snowsuit. Looking down inside a snowsuit, and she looks up confused. That was Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking back up at Lambert. Her mouth is opening and closing, but no words are coming out. So what's in front of her?
It's a box about 3 feet by 2 feet.
3 feet by 2 feet.
It's a pumpkin for the cat to attack.
Cipher looks at it. Is it like all packed up? Rapid.
Are you okay, Cipher? I wrapped it. I didn't rapage it.
Rapage.
Oh my god. My brain just went, what the fuck are you trying to say? Why'd you say it again? Why the fuck did you say that again?
Yep, I do that too.
Yep.
Except for me, it usually happens when I'm trying to do public speaking.
I just do it at work.
Cipher looks at, she's noticing the wrap and she starts looking for the sticky tape.
Sticky tape.
Yep, and she's undoing the sticky tape really carefully.
That's a good idea. You can reuse the paper.
And it's taking her like a long time. It takes her like at least a good 10 minutes. Between stopping and telling the kitten, no, pumpkins later. And she's going back and she's over that. She's carefully folding the wrapping. And it's a box. That's right. Like just a nondescript box. Yep. And she opens up the box and her eyes are like go really wide, and she pulls out this camouflage bag.
Huh?
That looks like camouflage backpack.
It's a bag camouflaged as a backpack.
Yep, looks like it's like full military grade sort of stuff. Lots of pockets, lots of little compartments around it. And she's like, a laptop bag? Awesome.
Well, your other one got an arrow through it. I thought you could use one.
Oh, that's right. I did not even think about that. And she sort of uncomfortably walks over and gives Lambert a hug.
And he hugs Cipher back.
She's like stiff as a board.
Okay, Cipher, I'm giving you something now. Is that enough warning?
What? Wait, what? Not you too.
Yeah.
What's with all the gift giving?
It's
I don't
the
understand.
Christmas thing, you know? It's what everybody does.
No.
Try not to worry
I
about
don't
it
know.
too much.
I didn't know everyone did this.
Okay, well, that's fine. You don't have to know. You just have to take the things and be happy about them, okay?
She's looks like she's getting a little bit upset, but yep, she's like walks over to you and sits down next to you.
So, Wren is giving Cipher a note, which I will send. And then she's also going to put in front of her a package of some of the cookies that she made, as well as a stuffed animal chicken that, if I can find a picture, looks a bit Like this.
It's so cute, says Terrence, and he's got his hands up near his face like he doesn't know what to do.
And if you can't read my writing, I do have a text version of the note as well.
I can read her writing.
I regret not actually busting out my calligraphy stuff to write actual calligraphy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, actual calligraphy. This is like, it's brilliant.
That.
And she picks it up. How big is it?
It is. Oh shoot! I'm the worst at estimating anything. It's like. I am holding my hands a distance apart that is unhelpful because you can't see how far apart my hands are. I don't know.
Okay,
it's about as tall as like a regular school binder.
Like a normal chicken size?
Sure. It's a normal chicken size.
Like bantam or pull?
Whichever you prefer.
I don't know. Which one? You choose.
I don't know. It's pretty big.
It's a little bit bigger than a basketball.
Sure.
A little bit bigger than a basketball. She's like looking at us. Oh, Wren. And she's like, she starts crying again.
Oh,
and gives
no.
Wren a big hug.
Okay, more hugging.
And she picks up the chicken and she unzips her shirt. Well, unzips her
Snowsuit.
Snow jacket. And, snowsuit. And shoves the chicken inside next to the kitten.
Don't crush the kitten. Okay,
Don't
it's soft.
smother
It should
the
be
chicken
fine.
either.
Well, the chicken's not alive. You can smother the
No, I
stuffed
said
animal chicken.
Don't smother the cat.
Okay, I heard chicken either, and I was like,
I said
the chicken's
kitten.
fine.
And
That makes a lot more sense.
I rolled randomly for the gift order on mine. And
And it's Cipher.
it's Cipher. Reggie comes in from outside and he says, Mr. Fennyman, there's a delivery for you. And he gets up and he walks over and he talks and he comes back and he's got a 2 foot by 2 foot square and he puts it down in front of Cipher and he says, for you, Cipher.
What? Cypher's like looking up at Fenny. Fenny? What? She starts sniffing. She looks at it.
It's
Is it
wrapped.
wrapped or is it? Oh, come on. Okay. She spends another 15 minutes unwrapping.
Yeah,
it.
Wren was very glad she hadn't wrapped this one.
Oh, did you give her cookies?
I did, yeah.
well?
Everyone got a little like package of some cookies Wren baked.
That's so long ago. She opens it up. It's actually warm and then like there's already smells of food and turkey and cooking in the air, but then the scent of freshly cooked bread wafts over the table. And
Did you get a box full of bread?
and she tilts it over and shows Terrence and Wren. There's 4 loaves of freshly cooked bread.
You did get a box full of
inside,
bread.
and
Which Cipher said she wanted in episode 1.
was it? Did she say that
Yeah.
in Cornerstones?
When he was there. And I can't remember if Cipher said she, the best Christmas present would be fresh bread, or if she just, or
Yes.
if it was something like,
No, no, that was talking to George. Really? No, I remember the conversation well because she was saying how they're like his cousin or someone went on a game
Yes.
show and
yes,
was it a game show?
she
or
won
something?
bread, and
Yeah,
you were
we
like, I
started
haven't had
talking
fresh
about-
bread in ages.
Yeah, winning bread. I haven't
won
had fresh
bread.
bread in ages.
Fennyman was in the car for that.
Yes, he was. So
Oh, that's
either
right.
way, still covered.
And that's right, because everyone was slapping
Yeah.
their forehead, going, "Why?"
I made a note of that in episode 1 on my wall.
Amazing.
And she picks out, and there's a gift card, and it's got 200 on it. Oh, clever! What a clever name! Wait 1 damn minute, bread shop. As she starts crying again, she races over to Fettyman and gives him a hug.
And he puts an arm around her. Pennyman takes out a box that's about 1.5 feet long by about 1 foot and hands it over to Wren, and it is wrapped.
Oh.
And there's a card which he also gives her.
Thank you. I guess she'll start unwrapping it. And for all she's telling Cipher to just take gifts and not worry about it, anytime she gets one, she's looking kind of, I don't know, concerned.
Well, you can see Cipher taking a cookie from one box and a chocolate from another box, and she's stacking them and then eating them together.
How's that taste?
Super sweet.
Don't ruin your appetite.
And alcohol-y.
For dinner.
Oh, okay. Wren kind of looked in the box, closed it back up again, started reading the card, and is kind of looking at Mr. Fennyman in shock, and she's like, what? Thank you?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have fun with it.
I will try.
So, can I ask a question? Does kittens come under weapon and or is that personal?
Are you gonna use the kitten as a weapon?
You're taking the kitten on Shadowruns?
She's fully gonna see if she can train a cat to attack.
To kill pumpkins.
Well, it takes about 2 years before they're full grown, so maybe wait until then.
Yeah, don't try and sick the kitten on anything.
Okay, so I won't put her under weapons and armor. Oh, that seems sense. Okay.
You still have that.
Yes, she's still got it hooked up to her earphones.
Excellent.
Cat earphones. Kitten, pumpkin.
Kitten, pumpkin killer.
Mm-hmm.
Kitten, pumpkin killer. I don't know how to do the rest of the rhyme as the cat and not the actual nursery rhyme.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm highly pleased with myself that gift distracted you enough in real life to miss an eBay auction.
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there, I was like totally like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then all of a sudden the page popped up and said this listing has ended. I was like,
Oh no!
what the? I was like, really? Did it take me 2 minutes just to? Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that was special.
And Lambert goes over and picks up a gift wrapped present and comes back and puts it in front of Wren.
Who is still kind of looking in shock at the card she was reading, and she's like, thank you, and she's gonna open whatever it is. All right. she's kind of looking at it slightly confusedly because Cipher maybe didn't end up giving one to anybody, but Wren has received a cat suit.
That's fabulous. I love it.
And to go along with that, a jacket with pockets that are different sizes to hold different things, and it all looks very, very good to sneak around in.
Cat burglary suit. What a great idea.
Very nice.
Great idea. You want one?
I wish I had thought of that.
Terrence leans over and kind of conspiratorially whispers, you might not want to talk about regifting something that you just received in front of the person who just gave it to you.
No, I wasn't saying does she want this one. I was asking why she thought it was a good idea. I was confused as to whether or not she was saying she also wanted one.
Terrence is smiling. He's just giving you shit.
Lambert's like, materials made by NASA.
NASA?
Whoa. That's impressive.
And one of the fairies hovers and looks at it and says,
It is magnificent!
Oh, it looks like the mural, huh? Well, thank you very much.
and the fairy looks at Lambert.
Art imitating life!
I think is it, which way round is it?
Life
Might be the other way
imitating
round.
art.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
And he zooms off to look at something else.
Oh, goodbye.
He's all hopped up on sugar. That's my fault, at least in part.
And mine. But it's really hard to make cookies that small, so I'm glad if they liked them anyway.
They were adorable.
It's really easy to burn them.
Cipher seems self-absorbed of adding chocolate to chocolate biscuits and then shoving them in to her mouth.
Cipher's gonna end
Trying
up...
to fit it all in.
Cipher's gonna end up with too much sugar, too.
She's not going to be hungry for giant bird.
And Fennyman puts his hand in his coat and pulls out a smaller book-sized present and puts it on the table and pushes it over to Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Fetterman. And he will unwrap it, not being as careful as Cipher was, because, part of the beauty of bringing a garbage bag is it's a place to put all the garbage after. So he's been putting stray bits of paper in the bag after it's been discarded. Except for the paper that Cipher has saved in pristine condition.
Very pristine. She made sure not to rip.
You can iron it, and it'll end up, there won't even be any creases or anything.
Terrence's eyes are, really big. And he's holding this, leather-bound book. It's a fiction of a book that he really liked reading by this indie author. And he's like, thank you so much. And he's, choking up a little bit.
You're most welcome. Lambert goes and gets it's a square, kind of like a square. It's not it's a tube sort of shape, like it's an oblong shape, not a big sort of thing. It's about 2 feet long, and he comes back and he puts it in front of Terry, and it has a card on top.
Terrence will carefully set aside the leather book with his magic book titled Practical Application of Telekinesis and Other Distance Magic, and he will pick up the card first. And start to read it.
And I have to get the right one and drag it in. Oh, and it fits. Thank God. I was suddenly worried it was going to say, your files are too powerful.
I hate that.
Yep. Oh gosh, it's a PDF.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I couldn't open it for a second. I was like, ah.
It took me hours to do this one. This was agonizing to work out.
And Terrence is holding a card, and the front of the card has some art on it. It looks like a Timbit that's got like some glaze on it, and a little like house and some trees, and a lamp and a tree. A little moon in the background, and it's covered in snow, and it's really cool.
Is George about?
Yeah, sure. He's probably not out doing stuff, so he's probably wandering around.
Cipher's going to get up and disappear from the table
Oh.
and go find George.
And he sees you and he starts laughing. I hear you won yourself some bread, Cipher.
Amazing, ain't it? It was so fresh and tasty too. Actually, that's a great idea. When I get back, I'm going to have myself a cookie and chocolate bread sandwich.
Right you are.
Great idea.
Terrence is like reading the card, and he's like crying quietly, and he's got this little smile on his face. And then he leans over and he hugs Lambert as tightly as he can.
Who hugs Terry back.
And he opens the box. And it's like a bit of rope with two different knots on either end. And he kind of looks at it, and he's smiling, and then he puts the lid back on the box and carefully puts it in his pile of stuff. And he's like wiping away tears.
That took me forever.
It is a very long card. It's very sweet. I like it a lot.
Aw.
I feel kind of bad for the like half sentence that Terry sent Lambert now. Like, holy shit.
I don't know. All my best cards were for NPCs, so nobody else gets to know what they are. Oh.
So Fennyman stands up and he goes, boy! And a boy about 14 runs up, and he's in not exactly a bellhop kind of suit, he's in sort of a suit. And he's go to the chapel on 42nd Street, buy 8 candles and donate 2 back to them. Next, go to the cake shop on the corner of Silent Bob and Jay. Buy 6 vanilla slices, 2 dozen of the jam-filled cookies. Now get 14 of the strawberry coconut Neapolitans. Ask for 2 of them not to have coconut. Joe doesn't like them. She will complain. Ask how her sister is. Finally, go to the Blush. Buy any of the Halloween packs for Marla. Hopefully, it won't be their bare-ass day. I don't want to hear from your mother. And somewhere in the back, someone goes, it's not. How do you know that, Tony? And Tony starts to put the newspaper slowly back up in front of his face. Here is 100. That will come to 81. Give $5 to the lookout. Be careful, he won't see you coming. You can keep the rest. You got all that? Yes, Mr. Fennyman. All right, off you go. The boy starts running. Wait. Who are you? I've never seen you before. Vasil, Mr. Fennyman. Who hired you? Mr. Lambert, Mr. Fennyman. Mr. Lambert, did you hire Mr. Vasil here? I did, on trial, awaiting your final approval. Why? Well, we were fresh out of boys.
We're doing that now.
And it's still, people are still going to be like, what? What?
What?
Oh, damn, I tried really hard not to laugh. Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry.
It's so good.
It is.
Terrence is like chuckling uncontrollably. And then he leans over towards him. He's like, why do you need boys?
He leans in, he's like, well, if we didn't have boys, do you know who would have been doing all those tasks? Me.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
I don't want to do it.
Terrence is still like trying to rein in his chuckles. he's like, that's very fair and valid.
Where did Cipher get to?
Yeah, you don't see her.
I don't know. Where'd she go?
I don't know. She left the table. Doesn't look like she's getting food, though.
And Ferret comes over with his top hat slightly askew, and he puts one small square, about 5 inches, 6 inches long, wrapped present in front of Lambert, and he puts a book-sized one in front of Terry, and he puts another oblong one about the same size as the first one in between you. And he's like, Merry Christmas to both of you. And he goes back over to the bar.
Terrence looks startled because he's never heard this person talk before.
Lambert picks up his and he opens it, and it's a toothbrush. And he just looks at Ferret, and Ferret's starting to giggle.
Terry will cautiously pick up his and open it.
It is the autobiography of Dr. Becca, The Guide to Real Estate.
Oh no. he's looking at the book and he's like, I've met this woman.
And Ferret's laughing a bit harder now.
Thank you.
Well, is that one for both of you?
Oh, the one in the middle, right. Terrence gives a go-ahead gesture at Lambert for the one in the middle because he's scared now.
He picks it up, he shakes it, it rattles. He looks at Ferret, who's barely containing himself, and he opens it up, and it's a box of KY jelly. And Ferret loses it. He starts laughing so hard he falls off the stool. He hits the ground hard. He obviously hurt himself, but it doesn't matter. He thinks that this is the greatest joke. He's holding his stomach.
Terrence has turned several shades of red. It's just a red that keeps getting deeper. It's like he's forgotten how to breathe.
Lambert's just looking at Ferret and rubbing his forehead.
Wait, what? Shucks over forehead?
Says Cipher, who's not there.
Cypher's just like, oh.
Cipher somewhere, just wondering to herself.
You think Ferret might actually have a heart attack if he continues this much longer?
Wren has been reading her card again, and she's not really been paying attention to what their gifts they're opening, so she's kind of looking at him, and she's like, what is he laughing about?
Terrence sits down, and he's like, never mind.
Okay. At least he's having fun, I guess.
Are you okay, Terry? Lambert asked you.
Terrence is like, yup. And he's got his hands on his cheeks, and he's just trying very hard to get the blush to go away, and it's not happening.
Are you sure? You look pretty red.
He looks over at Ferret, kind of
He's
squints
crying.
his eyes at him.
Like, it's full on. He's got tears. Like, they're literally, it's like he's rubbed onions over his face. He's starting to get under control, but he can't look at you. Every time he looks at you, he starts to giggle again. He's gone into full, I have snorted Joker gas.
So he's going to pass out soon.
He thinks this is the funniest gag in the history of gags.
Yeah, Terrence makes the mistake of running his hands through his hair, which dislodges roughly 50 bobby pins, and his hair goes absolutely crazy.
And Ferret's gone again. Because he's already on the cusp. Yep. Anything is going to be funny.
Yep. And Terrence is getting his blush under control. He's like, I'm alright.
Lambert squeezes Terry's leg. Are you sure?
Yep.
Well, that's good.
I'm really glad you missed that, Wren. I'm not sure I could stand a heckling from you on top of everyone else.
Huh?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Terrence is laughing now, and he's not blushing quite as hard.
Well, whatever it is, Cipher missed it too, because she's still not back.
Right. Where did she go?
I
I
didn't
think
see.
she went home.
What?
She just left. Like, properly left.
Yeah, I think she's gone home. I got a text from her just now.
Well...
Terrence looks properly worried, and he's like, I'm gonna go check on her.
But her bag and camo bag and cookies and chocolate and laptop are still, and the boxes and the wrapping
say
paper
she's
are
coming
still
back
on
then.
the table.
So all she's got...
You think she's coming back?
Call it a hunch.
She's... Oh gosh. Terrence is kind of like stuck halfway between standing and sitting, and he's like,
Are you going to stay like that all night? Lambert says as he pockets the KY and the toothbrush.
Terrence looks at him and he sits back down. And he's like, I'm just worried. She wasn't exactly taking all this gift giving well.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot that Cipher takes particularly well, and I'm not being mean when I say that.
No, I know. He kind of slouches and leans over on Lambert's shoulder.
And he puts his arm around Terry's shoulders.
And pops a can of drink.
Hugging Terry, drinking beer, he's happy.
Excellent. I guess Wren's just gonna go give gifts to anyone she had them for that she didn't give them to yet. Who is there? Because at least two people aren't. Which would just be Sonaria, I think.
Yep. Oh, I do.
So Wren
I do have a question.
will go give her that. Oh.
One success, one advantage, one triumph. Look at that.
What did you do?
Something well.
Something extremely well. I'm scared. When Terrence stops being quite so worried and mother hen-like, he's going to go over and give George his present.
And you can't find George either.
Yeah.
George is missing now.
George and Cipher.
Yeah.
Terrence has gone back to being worried. He puts George's wrapped present on the table and sits down again. And goes back to just leaning on Lambert. And trying not to be worried. And enjoy the holiday times.
And okay. Okay to Raven. And a couple of staff take the Fennyman's presents over to the bar.
Yeah, I guess once Wren's given a gift to Sonaria and basically handed some cookies to anyone else who works there, or looks like they particularly want cookies, she'll go back and sit down, because she can't give either of her other two gifts at the moment.
Should I be worried? Okay. I'm worried.
Oh, but apparently you shouldn't be.
But I am, because he took very deliberate, what's the word? He very deliberately stated that this happened and made sure I heard it, so I'm worried. Oh gosh. Alright, so Terrence is definitely worried. Heck.
Wren's only really worried about where Cipher's got to.
Ferret is at the bar with Morticia. The dance floor has been busy all evening while the jazz band played. Ferret walks over as the song ends. Ladies and gents, if all of you do not mind vacating this here space for a very special and long overdue encounter, while I have been asked to facilitate this event, it is to Terry that the praise and thanks are to go. So thank you, Terry. Yet do not worry, lovely people, for I have gifted Terry and Mr. Lambert a most worthy gift that I am sure will well endow Terry with compensation. So without further ado, he holds out his hand and Morticia flies over and takes a small vial. He steps back and bows to her. She lands on the floor and drinks the contents of the vial. There is a flash of light and an explosion of colour. And standing Dazzling with fairy fire encasing her form is a full-sized Morticia. Her multiple sets of fairy wings are reflecting an iridescent kaleidoscope of rainbow colours. Her hair is soft and drifting gently in the air-conditioned breeze.
Whoa.
Terrence is grinning because this is absolutely awesome. And then he gets concerned because he doesn't see Fennyman.
Lambert and Fennyman have both stood up. Lambert's mouth is moving, and it is clear he is trying to say something, but no words are coming out. Fennyman is just staring at her. Ferret kisses her hand and then walks over to Fennyman. You have been waiting for this for a long time. Fennyman turns to look at Ferret, but his eyes are locked on Morticia. Ferret takes his hand. Come on, one foot in front of the other. There you go. He leads him over to the dance floor. Fennyman and Morticia embrace. Tears are streaming down both of their faces. Ferret nods to the band, winks at Terry as he passes, and goes and sits at the bar. Several fairies are bawling their eyes out and have come and sat on his shoulder and top hat as the band begins a very slow dance number.
Terrence isn't sure what the wink meant, and everything Ferret does now is just going to concern him greatly. But he decides to dismiss it for the moment, and he gives the couple dancing a whistle. And Cipher missed all of that.
And when it's over, Ferret goes and opens one of the rooms, like doors to the back rooms where you have had your meetings and that, and then goes over and talks to them very briefly, and pair head towards the back room, and he gets a couple of fairies to come over, and they start making a very nice dinner from the food there, and then the fairies fly the food off so that they have a private meal for the first time and probably forever.
Well, that went a lot better than I could have hoped. Did you see the look on his face?
Did you have something to do with that?
Oh yeah, I gifted them a couple potions.
And they made Sonaria tall?
They made Morticia tall, yes.
That's her name.
I thought it was very clever. Her dress changed sizes with her. Would have been very awkward otherwise.
Probably. Well, it worked very well, I think, knowing nothing about magic.
She was big. Lambert. Finally.
Yeah, she was taller than me.
Hmm?
And he looks and blinks at Wren. She was big.
Uh-huh.
Terry, she was big.
Yep. That was the idea.
She orders me around when she's small.
Uh-huh.
She's big.
Yep.
Oh.
Nothing's changed. Her personality is still just as big as it has ever been.
I'm a little bit afraid.
I will gleefully do whatever that woman tells me to do. Because I'd rather not know what the ramifications of not are.
That could be ordering me around.
Uh-huh. I think she still is at the moment.
Terrence leans over to Lambert and he's like, don't worry, the potion wears off around 3 in the morning.
A lot of ordering by 3 in the morning. Can I have a drink?
They went off to have food or whatever. I don't think she's going to order you around.
I think they're going to be busy.
Where's Cipher?
Yeah, Cypher's still missing. I'm still worried about it. I'm trying not to be worried about it.
Yeah. Wren is looking a little worried.
Though, George seems to be missing too, so I think she hopped a ride with him somewhere.
And she did leave all her stuff, so... Well, not all her stuff. She took the kitten.
And the chicken. But she left her laptop, and she almost never does that.
Well, that means she'll come back. Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we go look for her, though?
Marla has a collection of the family's kids all sitting around her. What's it like being dead? One of the boys asks her.
Being dead isn't that bad. I get to have all these Christmases and eat as much Christmas cake and pudding as I like because I don't need calories and I don't have to burn them off. The calories just filter away like a fairy on a summer's day. Oh, cake!
Well, Wren does have a gift for her, so I guess she'll just try and pass it to someone to pass off to her later. And it is what most people are getting, which is cookies and coffee, but with the addition of some skull-shaped sugar cubes.
Which are awesome.
That's awesome. Terrence will wade through the sea of children and leave his gift for Mala on a table near her. And it is the box set of some helmeted Space Crusader type. It is a very good show that she expressed interest in watching. I'm absorbing Terrence's growing concern for just everything. It's very upsetting. Okay. I am bothered now. I'm so tense. I've got my feet up on my chair.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
As you put your feet up on your chair, you see George walk in, holding what looks to be like a computer tower and a box, and Cipher's walking in behind him.
Oh.
And they walk up to the table through the past people, and I'm assuming George will just put the box down on top of the table.
Okay. Gently, I assume.
Yeah. Yep. I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not throwing it down.
Terrence is confused.
And Cipher's so it's a big computer tower, all windowed, and the box is full of computer gear. And she's got Cipher's got like this gleam in her eye, and her like it looks like she's pregnant at the moment, but she unzips and she pulls
But is she
out.
a vampire?
She pulls out the chicken, and she looks down and she's going, "Okay, you two come out." And she pulls out pumpkin killer in one hand, in the left hand, and in the right hand she pulls out. So don't be surprised.
She pulls out what?
She pulls out this scrawny a scrawny looking little black furry cat with big ears. It's just like, you know this cat already, so, and she's I'm gonna have to explain.
Who knows
why.
this
Yeah,
cat already
yeah?
and why?
Cipher, you went and found another cat?
Nope. Terence, I know you said not to bring the kitten along, to leave it at home with a litter tray. Oh. But I wanted Wren here to meet Pumpkin Killer. So
Wait,
just
I
couldn't
already
help myself. I
met-
just wanted them together.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
I thought...
Wren the kitten.
oh! Okay.
And she holds up Wren, the kitten, the black cat. Is
There's a cat named Wren.
yes.
Huh. Well, they're both very cute cats.
This would have been good information to know earlier.
I probably should let you guys know earlier.
At least me. I didn't realize there was already a kitten in the house.
This is also very funny to me for other reasons, but anyway.
So when you get... Yeah, because I had this all like last week, all planned out. The next game, we got... Yep,
Okay, but I
Cypher's
can't even say, but I did something a while ago too.
So, was it... Because you just gave her another kitten and she's like, well, I can't just leave them separated. They need to be...
Alright, so we've got Wren and Pumpkin Killer.
They're probably all puffed up at
That's
each
it.
other too, and it's probably adorable, but also kind of worrying because they're like freaking out and they're tiny little like puff balls.
So she chucks the chicken in one of the boxes, and she puts both of them in both the kittens in in the same box with the chicken. So we got Wren, Pumpkin Killer, and Terence.
Is the chicken named Terrence?
Okay,
Named
so
the
that's
chicken
a-
Terrence. Okay.
Yeah. Is it? Is it? Is it?
It's alright.
Is it okay?
It's just funny, Cipher.
It's good to know you think of me as an angry chicken.
The chicken's not angry. It's cute.
It's
and
got frowny
fluffy
eyebrows. Look at it.
I'm glad I got to be the cat. No, not gonna lie.
Terrence is just...
It looks, and it looks all concerned, and like it's got a red thing on top.
And Terrence has a
Just-
red thing on his head? I guess.
Well, he's wearing
Well,
a
yeah,
Santa
that's true.
hat,
He is
Terrence's
wearing the
hair.
Santa hat. I forgot about that.
but his hair is like white. Like a silvery white color.
Oh. Oh, in the picture. Oh, in the picture,
Which
it's
picture are you looking at?
red. Your profile.
Oh,
pic.
but that's not Terrence.
Terrence. That's Pee Wee Herman.
And my picture's
Yes, I
not
know.
Wren. Is that why you thought Wren had brown hair?
Actually, the picture's Katrin. So she's like, Fennyman, can I get an extension cord over here?
Well, he's not there.
He's gone.
Oh. No, where's Fannyman?
He went. He's having dinner
He's on a date.
with Sonia.
Really? Who?
Morticia.
Okay. Her name is. It doesn't matter.
The wee little fairy
Yeah.
chick?
I gave her a potion, and now she is 5'3",
6.
5'6".
Cypher's standing on a tippy
She's
toes.
taller than
Yeah,
you.
taller than you
Ching.
and May. We're the same height.
No, but it looks like she's trying to look over the crowd.
Oh,
to
they're
where
gone. They're in a different room.
Where?
You can't go bother them.
You leave them be. What are you trying to do?
I've got to see a 5'6" Morticia.
I'm sure she'll come out and wander around before disappearing for the night.
What? She's permanently 5'6"?
Terry said only till like 3 a.m. or something.
Ah, like that fantasy tale about that person who had to get back at midnight by that company who made that children's show.
Kind of, but not midnight and not really like that at all.
Ah. So Terrence is playing the fairy godmother.
Oh, I should have gone with that outfit instead. He looks.
You missed.
He looks
sorry.
like he is very upset at himself for not thinking of that, and he's looking at his Santa costume. He's like, I messed up.
And Lambert's nodding.
You missed that and something that I also missed, so I can't tell you what it was.
Don't worry about that.
Well, if you ever need to know, you just ask a child. I mean, not like I'm saying I'm a child, but I think like a child. No, I don't
Wait,
think like a child.
Ask a child what?
What they think.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
From what?
And she's starting to get all excited. I need an extension card.
Oh.
What the hell? Lambert,
Yes, Cipher?
can I get an extension card for me?
Terrence
computer?
stands up and he's like, I'll go get it.
Please.
Yeah, now you said the magic words. And he gets up and walks over to the bar. Comes back with one.
Cipher.
Cipher?
Cipher starts hooking up some equipment to the computer. Keyboard, mouse. No, there's no keyboard or
Oh.
mouse. There's a cord which she's plugged into the side of her head, and she pulls out 2 virtual reality headsets. Hands one to Wren, and the other one to Terrence.
Terrence will take it, and he still looks very confused. And he says, I don't think these goggles will work. There's no way to see through them.
What are we
Huh?
doing with these?
You put them on your head.
And then
what?
And then we're blind. Is this a sensory deprivation test?
They'll light up as soon as the computer lights up, but don't be scared, because technically you're gonna be inside my head, but not.
Terrence looks
Well.
extra confused and concerned.
I'm sure that's an interesting place.
Weeks ago, you asked me to focus on building a library. So, where am I going to build a library?
Oh.
So, I've got a library program beating around inside my head.
Oh. Okay. Run's gonna put the headset on.
Terrence watches her, and then he does the same thing, and he's like, it's dark.
That's because Lambert hasn't put the power onto it yet.
Huh.
He kind of lifts it so it's up on his forehead, and his hair is sticking out in like these 2 big tufts through the straps of the headset, and he's like, all right.
All right, plug us in, Lambert.
All right.
Lamby? I'm assuming he's plugging it up.
Plugging it up.
Plugging it in.
Yep.
That comes later.
What?
What? What, with the toothbrush and KY?
Cipher doesn't know about that.
No.
Neither does Emily.
Luckily.
I'm so glad nobody can actually see my face right now. Oh my god.
Okay. Yes? Computer power's on. Lights flicker on. There's nothing there at the moment. It's just a blank white screen.
Terrence hasn't put the goggles back down yet, so he has no idea what's happening.
Cipher looks like she's looking up. Her eyes are darting left and right. She looks at Terrence. Terrence! Okay. Now, I'm going to start it.
Okay. And then he pulls the goggles back down over his face.
Alright. There's... Inside, it's almost like a tunnel, like you're going through, I guess like if you're warping through space. And then in the next instance, you're standing in the middle of Marla's library.
And Terrence is going to fall on his ass because he's like, ah! He gets extremely...
Well, you're already sitting down.
No, he was standing. Yeah.
Oh, was he?
He's going to fall. And he's going to land on his butt. And he's going to be like, huh. Because the movement just unbalanced him greatly.
And you feel big hands pick you up and gently put you in a chair.
Thank you. And he's waving his arms around and he's trying to find Lambert's arm to pat. He can't see anything. Except Mala's library. And he's like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a complete, almost exact replica of Marla's library. It's got thousands of books in there. All in the shelves. And what's unique about the place is you got like a ladder off to one side where you can climb up. But on the floor, there's all dust all over the floor. And as you move around, the dust actually moves, showing where you've actually walked. And Cipher's standing there with you inside the room. And you get the sense that you're actually... You can feel there is a lot of emotion in this room. Like it's a mixture of fear and anger and regret and incredible sadness. Like incredible sadness. It's it's like almost overwhelming. The place, the library's actually not very well lit. It's lit up by like some candles and some ambient lighting, a slight mist in the air. And Cipher walks over to one of the books and she pulls it out and opens it up and shows it to Terrence. And Terrence would see that it's that each page has been carefully reconstructed. So I've been working on this in my spare time, and I don't know if it'd help Terrence, but I know, getting to Marla's place probably, might not be very practical in some sense. So I've been sneaking over there and studying up myself. Actually, I've actually learnt a little bit, and there's about 50 books currently written. I mean, I think I've got about 3,500 to 4,000 books to go through, and I'm only at about 50 at the moment, but they're all on alchemy. So if you ever want to study up on alchemy, you can jump into here.
Terrence is smiling at her and he's like, this is really amazing, Cipher. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what I was talking about when I said you should make a virtual reality library. I didn't even know you could do this. This is... If I couldn't feel the goggles on my face, I'd think I was actually there.
because you kind of are. You're actually. It's a program. It's not on the PC. It's driven by the PC, but the construct is all within the chips that are within my brain.
Huh.
So it's actually a part of me, in a sense.
It's really amazing that you worked so hard to make this.
It
and
is.
so quick. It only took you, what, a month?
Only a couple of weeks, I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can get it done when you got insomnia.
You said you've been sneaking over. Did Mala know you were there?
Of course she knew.
Well, that's not really sneaking. Oh, you mean from Terrence, I see.
I mean, I only noticed a couple times when you ended up yelling at, what was his name? Dylan? Dylan the skeleton?
Yes.
Terrence smiles and he's like, I'm so proud of you, Cipher.
Well, it's kind of helping.
That's good.
I'm getting lost in the details. Almost to the point where even, Wren, if you wanted to come in, I've actually programmed, and she walks over to one of the doors, and the doors opens up into what looks like a totally different construct. The construct on the other side has door after door. It's got sliding doors. It's got doors with lasers in front of them.
Okay.
She's like... I had to do a little bit of research, but I'm not sure what kind of doors you're familiar with. I mean, there's even windows in here if you fancy breaking into windows.
Thank you, Cipher.
I got bank vaults. They're right down the very end. It's like a long corridor.
Huh.
Very well. It's like brightly lit. It's a very brightly lit corridor. Right down the end. Right, you can just see at the very distance is like it looks like a massive vault door that you just turn the wheel to open up.
Well, I see you have higher expectations of me than I have of myself, but thank you. If I ever need to break into a bank, I'm sure this will be great practice.
Well, I thought it'd just be practice for you.
It is.
I thought you could do all this.
No, I will. Thank you. It's really amazing what you've done.
So, I mean, it's not exactly a gift. I feel kind of bad for not being able to give you both some stuff, but
You don't have to.
Just know that I'm always thinking about you guys, and you're me friends.
Yeah,
me
we'd
closest
better be
friends.
after now. I mean, at this point.
We were friends long before this point, and Terrence is going to take his headset off, and he's going to send a wry, sideways glance at Lambert. He's grinning at him. And
What?
then he'll turn back to... He shakes his head, and he turns back to Cipher and gives her a hug. Thank you for being you, girly.
Cypher's sort of feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I've never had friends before.
Oh, you have us now. Better late than never.
Yeah.
And I've never had a Christmas before. So, you probably wouldn't believe it, but this is technically my first Christmas.
No, I can believe it.
Alright. I don't think there's anything else in here I need to show you. Oh,
What is it?
Terrence is just kind of holding the goggles to his face physically with one hand instead of putting the straps on again.
I'm just asking the Lord.
And he's got one arm around Lambert. He's just looking around. Probably looks right goofy doing it too.
Yeah, Lambert
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, it really. In the program too, you get the sense that there is a high degree of immaturity, but also a high degree of intelligence by what you see. How exactly detailed a lot of the stuff has been, created. It's been detailed very, very precisely.
Found a picture of what Terrence's hair is doing without the bobby pins. I'm going to upload it.
Cool.
It's a guy with blonde hair, but you'll get the point. It just gets really big and curly.
So what'd you see? What were we doing? What were we doing? What'd you see?
Huh?
What'd you see? With the goggles. And he starts blowing Terry's hair.
Terrence was trying very hard not to react to anything that Lambert was doing, but he started chuckling now. He's like, stop it. Cipher built an entire library, Mala's library, and a huge hallway full of like doors and windows and safes and stuff for Wren to unlock and break into.
Do you need to practice?
I mean, I don't know. If Cipher needs me to be breaking into any bank vaults, then yeah, I'd have to practice. That's not normally what I do.
Well, it's not like I haven't gone and scoped out a few places.
Okay.
And done me research. But if there ever needs to be...
I guess better safe than sorry. If we ever get locked in a bank vault.
There's also corporate things. I've also reset up. There's another door that opens up into the first time that me and Terrence here it broke into a building. We've got a fence there.
Oh, do you have a practice fence?
We have yep. There's a practice fence, and a door. The first door that we came across.
Is that
Terrence
fence
was trying to
the one you're going to charge $15 for people to try to climb over?
What?
Don't you remember your brilliant business idea, Cipher?
Oh,
The
yeah.
fence climbing lessons.
I had honestly forgot completely about that. And
Cipher, you should know by now I have a mind like a chalk wall.
she's like, and it's up. I'm only charging $5.
Okay, since it's a virtual fence.
Yep, it's on Stitch.io.
Alright. It's a good way to make some money in between jobs, I guess.
Well, the library itself, though, I mean, these books are actually detailed exactly as the books are in the library. So, technically, the program, this is why it resides in a chip, in a storage chip inside my head, because I guess some of the books are probably pretty invaluable. So by the time you average at about, $100, maybe $200 a book, up to, maybe a couple of thousand per book, with 3,000 books, over 3,000. That's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, but Mala might not want you charging people to virtually read her books.
I'm not charging people. But it's within me. I can't leave it on a computer system. I can't leave it on another system, because I don't want it stolen.
Excellent. Well, do you need any help with the books?
Well, you could help me design some traps and Terrence.
Yes.
I've actually programmed it so you can practice your runes.
Really?
Within the virtual environment. So I talked to Marla about some of the effects that some of the rooms might have, and so you can practice in, and they'll give you adverse effects if you get it wrong.
What kind of adverse effects?
Like explosion.
I'll explode the virtual world and not the real world, right? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So, Not like okay. So for example, you might do a rune, which might the end result might be if you do it poorly, you might accidentally open up, say, a portal to another dimension and summon a wickedly 11-legged creature that comes through and wants to suck your eyeballs out of your head. Well, it's not like that at all. So the way that I've rigged it up is if something bad happens, if you do the spell wrong, then it just explodes. Start again, game over.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll work with known spells rather than experimental ones. Practice the stuff in the books, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So the stuff in the books is what you can do.
Do the doors explode?
Do you have your headset off, or are you asking her in the VR environment? Like, do you still have? Does Wren still have her headset on?
Yeah, she didn't take it off.
They might.
Okay.
I forgot to warn you too. Wren. There might be some booby traps in there as well. So, just to test your skills.
I see. I am very intrigued by your perception of what I do, Cipher. I am.
Well, originally I was gonna, because it was gonna be all vampire and everything.
Oh.
You're not a vampire. You're complicated.
Sorry about that. Not being a vampire thing.
That's okay. It's not like it was a deal breaker.
I'm glad.
And Cipher shuts down the program.
And Ron will take off the headset.
Cipher walks over to Wren, gives her a hug.
Oh.
She says, I'm sorry, you're so complicated. I understand. And then she turns back around and picks up the two kittens and chucks them both back
don't
in
throw
to
the
her
kittens!
jacket. She places them carefully within her jacket. I think these little buggers need feeding. I'm going to go grab some turkey.
All right.
And Lambert blows Terry's hair again. He's like fascinated.
Actually, Cypher's really fascinated how a shark can blow.
Oh my god.
What the hell? Guys!
I'm reacting to Aaron, but technically it is also your fault. How could you?
What's his fault?
How can a shark
There was
blow?
no connotation.
A big...
Is the joke.
Because they don't have lungs?
They don't
something?
have lungs? What?
They don't have lips.
Yeah.
There's a,
Because if sharks
just
have
have
gills
teeth.
and not lungs, then they couldn't blow air out on hair. I don't know.
Not were sharks.
I just think it was hissing.
And that would take all the fun out of it.
oh my god.
Cypher's watching what she says.
No, you're not.
in future. I think.
Cipher?
But I think Becca's afraid of letting me out at night.
Oh goodness. There was a sex joke in there, and I'm trying
I figured there must have
really,
been.
really hard not to make another innuendo because I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not gonna do it.
You already did. Terry's really, really hard.
Don't encourage. Don't.
Oh,
Don't.
God damn
I
it!
missed that one.
Your mind is just thoroughly in the gutter right now.
Well, it's all in the same line. It was like
Jeez.
the gutter's right next to the road there on that one.
Well,
Damn it!
There is turkey and lots of it.
Terrence goes to stand up, and then he sits down very hurriedly, and he kind of... Cipher, can you grab me a plate while you're up there? And he's blushing a little bit, trying to look inconspicuous.
sure.
Shoots a side glance at Lambert again.
Who looks really not innocent. Is there a problem, Terry?
Why would there be a problem?
Oh, I'm just wondering. And he looks even less innocent.
Got a big shark grin on his face, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah. It's huge.
Yeah. I thought sharks always smile.
There is a very distinct picture of Lambert not smiling somewhere in the pictures.
Uh-huh. What do you want other than turkey, Terry?
Potatoes, gravy, some kind of vegetable.
Okay. Cipher, do you want to go get food?
Well, Cypher's already up at
Oh.
the tables, where the food is.
Run's following Cipher.
Yeah, he's smiling. It's like, yeah, what's up?
I'm trying to find the pictures of Lambert, and I can't.
Yeah, because he's a happy Lambert.
All right, so Cypher's grabbing 2 plates of turkey.
Yeah, and it's like full turkey. You can cut it. There's legs and mashed potato, lots of different vegetables. Lambert just shakes his head.
Ren's getting food too.
Was Cipher bringing Terry food?
She asked for turkey,
I'm sorry, who asked for turkey?
and he asked for turkey.
Potatoes and gravy and a vegetable, Cipher. He didn't specify.
Oh, he just heard turkey and a vegetable. He just heard turkey and a vegetable. Oh. Dear. Wren?
Yeah?
What was Terrence wanting again?
Turkey,
I've got half a plate of turkey here.
potatoes, gravy, and a vegetable.
Okay.
With a side of shark.
What?
Terrence grins really big.
Wait. What? They sell shark meat here?
No. That would not go over very well.
Cipher, you're hopeless.
It's Lambert.
Huh?
Wren, do you want to dump some potato on this?
Yeah, I can put some potatoes on that plate. Are you okay carrying both of them with the kittens in your snowsuit?
They're only attacking each other a little bit.
Terrence is
okay.
like, it's I'm okay for now, and he stands up and he's like, do you want me to get you a plate, Lambert?
Sure, I would appreciate that.
Alright.
Cipher grabs a few pieces of turkey and throws it down her shirt.
Okay. They're your cats.
Keep the little beggars quiet.
Alright, have you got enough food? Because I have a lot of food on this plate.
Turkey drumstick, turkey breast, turkey meat.
What were the first two if not turkey meat?
Turkey gravy and some turkey. I'm doing
Just turkey and gravy. You're not going to eat any vegetables.
Terrence comes back with 2 plates.
Do I have to?
Yes. There's like a bunch of vegetables. Pick one. There has to be one you don't hate.
I hate cucumber.
Okay, there's no cucumber.
I hate beans.
I don't remember if there were beans.
There's acorn squash. It's got salt and pepper and an unholy amount of butter in it.
Not even sure what an acorn squash
It's
is.
squash. It's sweet. Do you like sweet stuff, right? It's a sweet vegetable.
It's borderline
Of course.
unhealthy. You'll probably love it.
Get some squash.
Alright. Cipher grabs some squash. And heads back to the table.
Satisfied that she's got a vegetable, Wren will also head back.
And Lambert just sat there smiling, watching you two dance around the vegetables.
You can't only eat bread forever.
Oh, she can.
She's gonna die if she does.
Terrence looks like his eyes are really
At
big.
the-
And he's like, you don't understand. I watched her eat nothing but bread for like 4 days.
Cipher, you're gonna die.
As Cipher realizes the word bread, she's dived into the box and pulled out one of the loaves of bread, and she's pulled out about 8 slices, and she's dunking them on top of the gravy.
Didn't you get any stuffing, Cipher?
Ew.
Stuffing's the best part.
Stuffing is made out of bread.
Ew.
What's
Yep.
ew?
Why?
Ew. It comes out of the bird's butt.
No.
So do eggs. You like those.
Yeah, but they're covered in a shell. You don't eat the shells.
Well, the stuffing doesn't come out of, like, the rectum or anything. All that stuff is removed before you put the stuffing in.
Uh-huh.
It's still out of the bird's
No,
butt.
it's
Hole.
not.
Besides, I got this bread anyway, so
Okay, well,
I'm
you
good.
have to eat that squash.
Oh god, chickens.
Okay.
Sorry.
She is...
Chickens?
I was really far up in the Tuesday game chat.
Oh. And what was going on about
It's
chickens?
just a close-up of a chicken's face, and I was like,
The game has been overrun with chickens.
And Lambert smiles.
Oh.
I'm
What a Cipher done.
Cipher spits the squash out. Oh my...
Have to eat some of it.
Oh,
Have to eat some of it.
She scrapes it off her tongue.
appetizing. It's gonna take a little bit of
Cipher.
work for me to keep
Eat a
my
vegetable.
appetite after that. That was so gross. Ugh.
It's like this big blat on the side of her plate. Yeah.
Cipher, you have to eat vegetables in life, even if you hate them.
Can I go get pumpkin then?
Where are you going to find pumpkin? There isn't any pumpkin.
Potato?
No, that is not a healthy counting vegetable for this purpose.
What? Peas?
Yes. Those are fine.
Cipher gets up, walks up over to the table of food, finds the peas, scoops on a teaspoon.
Yeah, that's just
of
gonna be like,
peas,
takes like
and walks
6.
back. Well, how many can fit on a teaspoon? Maybe about 6 peas.
Okay. Alright, we'll just eat them then.
Oh, well, it doesn't actually tell me.
How many peas you can put in a teaspoon?
Terrence
in
would
gravy.
probably offer her some
And-
roasted sweet potato. And he'll say something to the extent of, it's like regular potato, except it's orange.
I know that's silly.
Well, it's also a vegetable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
It's an acceptable vegetable. You can eat that too.
Oh, well, I like sweet
Oh,
potato.
then eat that.
Oh, she accepts the sweet potato and chucks it on the bread with the peas, folds the bread over in half, pours some gravy inside, and eats it like a taco sandwich. Pea and
Not
sweet
sure
potato.
you can count pea as an
Diggy.
ingredient if there's only 6.
Wren's counting it as a win anyway.
Baby steps, Wren. Baby steps.
That sounded
doesn't
like
eat vegetables.
Funnyman.
Wasn't meant to. I
did.
channel my inner Fennyman all the time.
Ah, okay.
Cipher, how have you even been alive this long if you never eat vegetables? However long you have
I
been
eat
alive.
vegetables all the
Oh, which
time.
vegetables do you eat?
Sweet. Well, Terrence said that sweet potato.
Okay, so you eat sweet potato all the time.
and potato,
Potato's not all that nutritious. Anything else?
corn.
Corn, also not all that nutritious.
She eats a multivitamin.
and some peas.
Nah, that's good.
Mushy peas in a pie.
Okay. Oh, your cat's still fighting.
Nope.
What are they doing?
Did they get full and sleepy and like turn into a pile of cute?
There you go.
Because that would be good.
Eating the turkey and not dying.
That's good. Cipher, can I hold one?
Sure. She picks out Wren and hands it to you.
Thank you. Wren is petting Wren, I guess.
So, I stayed within Terence's rules, and Terence wanted it. Said we could only on a rescue kitten.
Okay.
So she's a wee little bit of a runt. This one, and she was abandoned and found in a garbage
Aww.
pile. But she's got the cutest little eyes. It's like the eyes that that you have when you're looking at night. And the big ears. That's really cute, like a vampire is.
Just like a vampire's ears.
Yep.
Lambert shakes his head.
Yes. Vampires known for their cat-like ears.
Well, this one here. Look, see how pointy they are. They just look like vampire. Well, if vampires, I don't know.
Have you licked the kitten, Cipher? Maybe it's a vampire.
I will neither confirm nor deny those accusations.
Well, Terrence is gonna finish his food, and then he's gonna look over at Lambert. He's gonna be like, "My place or yours?"
Mine's closer.
Very true.
And mine doesn't have a cipher.
That's fair. Are you okay to get home, Cipher?
Oh, I can fix that. I'm quite happy to. I mean,
no.
If you guys,
Terrence is like panicking. He's holding up his hands. He's like, no, Cipher, somebody has to go home and take care of the kittens.
Yeah, but the kittens are here with me.
Well, yeah, but their litter boxes and their food is all at home, and you can give them each a saucer of milk.
I guess, but
and you can pile them up on your bed.
If you're going to be up all night,
you're going to pile them?
Talking,
you have to make sure Pumpkin Killer knows where the litter box is, right?
The litter box and not the tree pot.
Yes, you have to train her not to use the tree pot. That is.
I got all day tomorrow to do that. I mean, it's Boxing Day after all.
Yes,
no one works on Boxing Day.
But there's no litter box here.
I'm sure I could dig up some sand from somewhere.
No. You go on ahead. I'll be around in the morning sometime.
She cocks an eyebrow. She's like, "What are you getting at, Terry?"
Terrence is looking like...
Lambert's grinning.
Wren?
Yeah? What is it, Cipher?
Cypher's like... Again, her mouth is moving, but no words are coming out.
What's up?
And almost, she's like... And she raises up her right hand, and she's got her finger pointing out, and she's going, "Point at Terrence."
Uh-huh.
With a questioning look.
Yeah, that...
Points at Lambert.
Okay.
With a questioning look.
Uh-huh. What's the question, Cipher?
No way. Okay, I'm going home.
Terrence has this mildly pained look on his face, and he's pinching the bridge of his nose.
Cipher, if you're leaving, don't forget your other cat that I am holding.
Why do you think I gave him a toothbrush?
Huh?
Yeah, Lambert's like,
Ferret!
You give a shark a toothbrush?
He did.
Oh, that's funny.
He certainly seemed to think it was funny. He laughed for forever.
That's clever.
Terrence is staring at the ceiling now. He's like,
All right. You sure you don't want to look after her for the night, Wren?
No, I can't. She's very cute, and I like her a lot, but it probably wouldn't work.
Well, you can come over and visit the kittens anytime you like, in any case.
I will.
It'll be great fun. We'll try to talk to you, and the cat will get confused.
Yes.
I'm sorry, other Wren.
Because it's called.
To be fair, I was here first.
Because you know, yeah. Because it's cauldron.
Because it's called Wren, yes. The kitten.
Cauldron!
I thought you were saying something about a cauldron. Yes, cauldron. What?
And I was looking to the right where Terry would be, which no one can see.
Ah.
Funny, I was also looking to the right.
At nobody, because... This is really funny. I've been picturing Cipher on my left and Lambert on my right.
Yeah. Because, yep, Terrence is on Cipher's right and Wren's on Cipher's left.
All right.
That's how I was picturing it.
Works for me.
Well, Cipher finishes off her food. Is it getting late?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Definitely.
yeah.
Cipher calls over George. Hey, George, could you help me with these to get back home?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, George, before you go, I have a gift for you.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I do. I have something for you as well.
Awesome.
And Terrence pulls out a small box and hands it to George.
And he takes it and he opens it. And it's 2 fluffy dice. Light speed.
Terrence smiles and nods at him.
Wren gives him some coffee and cookies like she was giving most people.
Oh, that's eating the cookies.
You're welcome.
Oh, cookies and gravy.
Sorry? Cipher?
Nothing.
Peas and gravy.
Huh? Oh. Yes.
I thought you said cookies and gravy. That'd be horrible.
I don't think the cookies would taste good with gravy. Don't try that, Cipher.
Now she's gonna try it and she's gonna make herself sick.
I mean, her idea of Christmas did involve throwing up, if I recall correctly, so.
When?
At the very beginning.
Viewers, yeah, you're like, so Christmas is a time when you spend time with people and eat food and drink and throw up.
And stuff.
Yep.
And stuff.
And stuff.
That
She didn't think there was
is
shenanigans
a
involved.
little worried about the end stuff because that could cover quite a wide variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like virtual reality libraries and cats?
Huh? What a great idea.
What?
Thanks, Wren.
Are you gonna put cats in your virtual library?
Uh-huh.
So long
Oh,
as you
good.
remember to feed the real ones.
Of course I will.
What, are you going to put little helmets on your cats and let them run around a virtual library?
What a great idea. You know, that there's actually been studies done that where they've put actual virtual reality headsets on cows that are in, cages inside a building to make them a lot happier. So they're outside in the fields.
But would the cats be happier being in a library than your house?
Why wouldn't you just put the cows
I don't-
outside then if they were happier?
Well, it was research. It wasn't really much point to it unless you're, I don't know.
Cipher, Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just assuming that, you know, they're doing research to I guess, you know, a cow is a tasty cow as opposed to a sad cow.
Oh.
Glad we had turkey.
Yep.
Cipher, next year, on Christmas, you can spend your time finding out if everybody is a vampire, because this is the perfect place. There's mistletoe.
What's mistletoe got to do with it?
Terrence is so confused. He's looking at Wren like she's lost her mind.
Because you're supposed to kiss people under mistletoe.
Oh, I'm not gonna kiss it.
I
Wren,
know. I was joking, Cipher.
What kind of girl do you think I am?
We're still trying to work that
under
out.
The mistletoe?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
It's a tradition.
Terrence nods.
In what sense? In what country does this thing kind of happen?
This one.
Seattle.
A bunch. The country of Seattle.
Seattle's suddenly become
A country.
its own independent
I
country.
never set foot outside of it.
Seattle has separated from the rest of the United States. And that's why, if we talk about the temperature in Celsius, it's just because Seattle now uses Celsius since it's its own country.
Well, Seattle is also, like, really, really close to Canada, so maybe they just know.
It's an old
That's
tradition,
true.
Cipher.
Yep. Don't really know why, but it's just something people talk about on Christmas.
She
There's like
has
songs about it and everything.
Well, she's got a confused look on her face. It doesn't make sense.
No, I guess not.
I mean, kissing random people. Ugh.
It doesn't have to be
Cipher,
random.
It was a joke.
It doesn't have to be random, no. Terrence gets up, and he looks around at the ceiling, and he's, like, gesturing at Lambert to follow him. And he goes and he finds some mistletoe, and he stands under it.
And Lambert.
My kitty.
Wait, did you take your cat back?
Cipher starts heading out the door. She's like, "Oh shite!" Then, hurry! Fuck's sake!
Wren will bring the cat Wren over to Cipher.
And Lambert's paying
Avert
no
ye-
attention to Cipher at all at this point.
Avert ye eyes, you poor girl.
The kitten doesn't mind Cipher.
Still ignoring Cipher.
Yeah, Terrence is also thoroughly ignoring the shenanigans, though he is smirking a little bit.
You don't have to cover your kitten's eyes just because people are kissing.
They're children. They don't need to see these things.
They don't know what kissing is!
Shush! You're hurting their feelings. And she's tucking them both back into her shirt. George!
What?
Help!
What?
She needs to escape because there's kissing.
I need to get home, please. I'll wait in the car. And Cipher hurriedly walks out, not looking back.
And Terrence will pull away from Lambert and say something to the extent of, "If I knew that would get her to go home so quick, I would have done it ages ago."
I would have done it ages ago. Just because.
Oh yeah? Why not then? Terrence gives him a mischievous smile.
You were having so much fun doing other things.
I'll give you that.
And Christmas only comes once a year.
That is true. Anyway, have a good night, Wren.
Wren is gone.
I thought
That's right. Yeah.
Wren is. No, you didn't see her leave.
Nope.
She's just gone.
Lambert's just like, have a
Nope.
good night, Wren. You can
Yeah.
have a good night, because I intend to.
Well, you can tell her to have a good night, but she's
Oh,
already
he
left.
knows that. He's just...
Ah.
He's talking to the empty door.
I thought she was still in the building. I didn't realize she left with Cipher.
Nope. She didn't leave with Cipher. After Cipher left, she just grabbed her stuff and left.
Okay. All right.
He didn't notice he was busy.
Neither
Yep.
did Terrence. He's like, oh, well, I expected Cipher to leave without saying goodbye. Damn. Anyway, shall we?
As Lambert takes Terry in his arms and they embrace under the mistletoe, the fairies flitter their wings happily. Mr. Fennyman and Morticia, arms around each other, watch happily for a few moments before returning to their table. Terry and Lambert, lost in each other, continue their kiss as the band begins their last song.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. Well, I'm all for Christmas. It's a magical time full of kisses. Take a walk outside and tickle the snowman's nose. Moving nimbly, did you hear something from the chimney? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Oh, whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you.
So I hope everyone who has stuck with us through 20 odd episodes has enjoyed the most strangest and sexually charged Christmas special I think it's ever been. Shadowrun, a slice of life adventure in a dystopian future, starring Becca as Terry the Mage, RavenInsane as Cipher the Hacker, Emily as Wren the Thief, Sarah as the Banshee Marla, and Ghost as the GM. The excellent Shadowrun is produced by Catalyst Game Labs. The Genesys rule set comes from Fantasy Flight Games, and many of the sounds and music comes from Syrinscape, which is an amazing tool for bringing more life to your game table. This has been a Kritfayle production.